Hello, people of the internet, it's Amanda, and can we really let February end without talking about Crash Landing on You? Absolutely not. Unless you've been living under a rock this past couple of weeks, then you've probably heard of this K-drama, which started December 2019 and ended second week of February. Now, this is so intense because it broke the record of Goblin for 4 years, being the highest rated drama from TVN, and apparently it's the second highest rated drama now of all time in South Korea. Still not sure which one holds the top spot, but I think that really says something considering that Goblin for the longest time is one of the most hyped dramas, not just in South Korea but globally as well. And this one did just get high ratings within South Korea, but has also been a massive hit in different parts of Asia, including Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. You get the drill. But with everybody else talking about the hype, if it's worth watching and all of these things, for this video I want to highlight one aspect of it that I absolutely loved, and I'm not particularly sure if this has been mentioned elsewhere. I tried researching and I haven't yet. I tried to look up if the writers have disclosed their choice for putting in this detail, and I couldn't find anything, and that's the reason why I wanted to dedicate an entire video of this. Now, there are going to be spoilers, but I'll try as much as possible to keep them on a minimum in case you haven't seen it yet and you're just curious as to what it is, to change your viewing perspective as you go on with it. But I want to focus on the Switzerland symbolism that I've noticed as soon as I watched episode 1 for this particular drama. But before I start, obviously I want to sum up what the drama is about. First, basically the plot is about South Korean heiress Yoon Se-ri, who finds herself in a tragic accident that lands her in North Korea, where she was found by Captain Ri Jung-yuk. And as you guessed it, it caused a lot of tension, not just on a military and national level, but also on a downscale as to what they're going to do and how they're going to smuggle her out back to her own side of the country. But inevitably the two fall in love, and there's just that. It's not the first time that South Korea has tapped into the whole North Korea South Korea relationships in their fictional work. So there's Iris, there's Descendants of the Sun, there's City Hunter. Basically a lot of dramas and movies have tried to really portray this sort of relationship, I guess, in their own way. But while it is a reflection of the yearnings of the South Korean people, and obviously as much as there's tension on a military and government level, the people might have different feelings about this, especially since it's not even more than 70 years ago when this entire thing has happened to their nation. Families over families, probably there are still some out there that are definitely hoping for unification, and therefore they are portraying it through media. However, with Crash Landing on You, I feel like it resonated even more so significantly to the people, thus giving it its ratings, because aside from the fact that yes, it taps into and explores more into the idea of North Korea South Korea relationships, it also is within the time frame where in 2018, 2019, like the two leaders of the countries have actually shown initiative, that there is sort of hope in pursuing more peace talks. Like, we've seen it happen. Everybody, even outside of Korea, was praising when both leaders have stepped into each other's territories and in a show of sort of like just welcoming each other into each other's territories in a way to at least show this type of peace that people have been wondering about for the longest time. And so I believe that given that time frame and also this drama, it really draws in a lot for South Korean people and really hits close to home as to what the actual hopes of the people are. And moving to the main point of the video, which is the symbolism of Switzerland as one of the pivotal locations for this film. I feel like whether it's conscious or subconscious that the writers did this, though I believe it's deliberately chosen as so, serves as a juxtaposition as to the two the relationship of the two countries, mainly because historically in real life Switzerland has been a neutral nation for as early as the 16th century. Like it has excused itself from wars in the hopes of self-preservation, even during way back during the Battle of Waterloo with Napoleon Bonaparte. In World War One and World War Two, they have accepted refugees but refused to take military um, alliances with any countries, and have always maintained a neutral status in the global scale. Like they've literally declared it, um, and up to now. So looking at that, like the sense of neutrality, and then contrasting it with the South Korea North Korea tension, whether it be in real life or in the drama, it definitely speaks for something about the plot, which I feel like is brilliant, especially as soon as I watched episode 1 and I heard that, they were sort of like mentioning Switzerland here and there, and I figured that's just a brilliant detail of script writing, of writing, of just creating this minute breadcrumb out there, um, especially with the context of the entire drama. Thing about Switzerland that I also noticed as to how they played it off with the contrasting of North Korea and South Korea to each other, as compared to like what it is like when they're in Switzerland, is the idea that Switzerland represents a place for the two main characters in such a different light or a different parallel to their actual realities when they're back in their own countries. So, for example, for Captain Ri, in North Korea, he was restricted. He wasn't following a passion that he loved. Everything was sort of like controlled and in this little bubble of its own, whereas it was portrayed that when he was in Switzerland, he was following his passion. There's freedom there, there's happiness, whereas in North Korea it was the other way around, at least for his character. And for Seri, it's also the same thing. So in South Korea, she's powerful, she's formidable, she's strong, she's this woman who just takes command of every room that she enters, whereas in Switzerland, that's where she felt the most vulnerable, the most lonely. She felt really alone and lost, and it shows more of their own reality, like the reality of their characters and who they really are to the core, as compared to who they are in their own specific countries. And so meeting together, falling in love, and experiencing each other's worlds, um it became sort of like this neutral ground for them, despite the differences, the disparities, and so on and so forth. So I definitely feel like choosing Switzerland overall for this entire thing was a brilliant move on the writer's part. Now, as for other things, so obviously the drama has faced its own controversies as well. So I think the Christian Liberation Party or something like that filed a complaint against the writers, saying that it's glamorizing the idea of North Korea. But again, I think the writers can get off it by saying that they did put a disclaimer. Just 60% of the drama is said to reflect sort of like North Korean life, but again, they've said that it's fiction, so there's definitely a lot of like room for creativity for this particular drama. I feel like it also opens the curiosity for people to look up what actually is true in the drama as compared to what's not true when it comes to North Korea and living there. And I feel like that in itself, aside from, it's also an opportunity to educate people outside of just loving and patronizing Hallyu culture as to the actual realities of these two countries, which I feel like is a very smart move, especially at this day and age. I think it also, what's good about it as well is that it doesn't just reflect North Korea in a bad light, as they say, but again, definitely there's romanticization in it because it's fiction, but at the same time, like, again, it just depicts that people are people no matter how things are actually like. And the love story in itself, yes, is really good, it's really great, but then I think, yes, so more of the juxtaposition between the two different countries is really what made this drama a success, because at the end of the day, what resonates with people is something that hits close to home to both their reality and at the same time escaping from it. And I feel like Crash Landing on You definitely provided that for South Korean audiences, as well as like for other people who are curious outside of of the country who are curious about the situation and are in it for the entertainment value. So I think that those are like the ideas of it. I think personally for me, one of the storylines that I absolutely broke my heart more so than the love story would be the story of Mambok, which is the wiretapper. I think for there you see someone who's just broken as a human, and like how it feels like to really like be dead inside and just experience that over and over. And that's one of like my favorite ideas from the film. It doesn't just isolate itself from being like a North Korean factor, but it is something I feel like that resonates with a lot of people, both personally and both within what's happening with their reality, no matter what type of work or nationality you are, or what type of you believe in terms of what you observe in your own government or something like that. So there's that. Now, I've rambled on a lot about this, but bottom line is I believe that the brilliance of inserting Switzerland in the plot and just making it this location that speaks for something even outside of the context of just a love story, and it being a location for the characters to be to I don't know, like, you get it. I'm not just gonna say it, but it played a huge part in the beginning and at the end of it, and it's just something that also speaks for a bigger truth even outside of the drama, which is North Korea, South Korea, they're so close together, and still there's definitely this line that separates them. Whereas here, Switzerland plays a role of the like neutrality, where these people I know have come together to live their own truths in the most human and raw way possible, and that is outside of just their identities, that is related to their nationalities. And I don't know, I think that's brilliant, like a brilliant detail that was breadcrumbed all over this particular drama. And yeah, so with that said, tell me down in the comments below, have you also noticed this particular detail? Do you care? Do you not care? Is it just me just putting out all these like weird ass theories, observations, things like that? Very Tumblr like of me. Yeah, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one. Bye!